Hello and welcome to the sixth installment of the ExtremeHW Podcast, episode number 5. Today we have with us a rather full house of guests. We have our ever insightful and wonderful gamer girl, Kat.
Hi.
Right. And yes, we also have the illustrious and illuminous and illustrative Candyman, Mr. Frickfrock.
Greetings and salutations.
As always. And then we have our self-proclaimed certified manlet, Simmons.
Hi, that's me.
What's a manlet?
Somebody below the height of 5'7", I believe.
Okay.
No, it's under 6'0". Under 6'0".
Oh
wow.
boy. Okay.
If your height starts with 5, you're a manlet.
Right. Good to know.
And last but not least, we have our, certified non-manlet person who really needs to get a haircut, Dr. Christopher Unicorn.
Yeah, Alex almost read out my screen name in Discord, but he probably shouldn't.
I didn't, but I was going to, but then I didn't.
That's what we call an inside joke that you people don't get to know about.
That's fine. It's like the third time trying to do this intro, but hey.
I screwed up the first two.
Yes, thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Actually, no, Alex screwed up the second one. I screwed up the first and the third. Alex,
So
you
moving
said
on
it was
to
the
our
fifth
first
episode.
topic.
What's new in the world of tech, Alex?
Yes, so moving on quickly from Chris to something relevant.
Yeah, that's me.
No, it's not you, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're
Intel.
right.
Intel is, they kind of pushed forward their Cascade Lake X release date and specifications because it got leaked. So, very unbusiness-like. They just decided to go, hey, we're just going to give you all the official information anyway, which is a bit odd. We did talk about the Cascade Lake X on a previous podcast episode where they brought up that it's going to be 2.39, I think, price to performance better than their previous offerings. And it's up to 2.09% better than the previous offerings. And it does seem they've just done that by slashing the prices a fair whack. Which
A fair whack.
yes,
Oh, okay.
So how much is a fair whack?
quite a lot of whacks.
Okay.
And yeah, it doesn't bode that well for performance, really. It's probably, again, not a big jump. So if you want to know the fair whack, the top of the line 10980 XE, which is a terrible name, which replaces the 19980 XE, is $780.
Ooh. Oof.
No,
What do you mean no?
That's still a lot of money.
the top tier is $979.
Thank you. Okay, and the
You're off
19
by $200, Alex.
No, I'm off by $1.
No, you said $700.
I'm pretty sure I said 980.
Regardless.
Either way, it's $980. The 19980 XE, which it replaces, was $1979. So it's a lot cheaper, like $1,000 cheaper. And it's boasting 18 cores, 36 threads, 24.75 megabytes of L3 cache, 4.8 gigahertz single core boost, 3.8 gigahertz all core boost. So yeah, same amount of cores and threads.
This is one of those things that I feel like should make me really excited, but I'm just so mad because it just proves that they were overpricing the hell out of their chips for years and years.
Well, I mean,
But
yeah,
didn't
that's
we
kind
all
of the
know
point.
that though? Like, didn't we all kind of know that?
Like, let me believe that
Okay,
they're in it
yeah,
for me.
true.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, like, okay, I know what the whole thing is. AMD is for the people, and Intel is for enterprises. I get it. I understand. But to have
For
the
the
price
people.
disparity be so, like, it's not a small amount, man. These are significant chunks, slashes, whatever you said. It's a lot of money. And I'm like,
Well,
I feel like they could have done this so much earlier and really gotten a lead in the market and like maybe cut off AMD at their knees a little bit.
well, I mean, honestly, I feel like they were well within their right to do so, even though it was not unjustified pricing, just because there was nothing to compete with it for the longest while. And now that EPYC processors are proving to be for the enterprise, then now Intel has to react.
Yeah, true.
But still, like Frick said, it's not like it was a $200 or 10-20% price cut that we've seen from other companies. It's like, hey, we're going to reduce the price of this product by more than half.
Yeah, it's I think the smallest price cut proportionally. The 10 core generation over generation got cut by a third, and that's huge. That's the smallest. Like, that's still a lot of money. One thing that's interesting though, and I just now noticed this looking at the spec sheet, the 10 core and the 12 core both have less cache than they did last generation. So they could technically perform slightly worse. I don't think they will, but they could. Either way, you're still saving a buttload of money, so that's fine.
Yeah, like if we want to kind of extrapolate some kind of performance, they said up to 2.09 times savings, and the top of the line gets the biggest price cut.
Yeah.
So at most, it's a 9% increase because it's cut the price by half. Actually, more than half. So it's probably like at most 7% performance increase as measured by Intel.
Well, honestly, 2.09 to me just sounds like the price per dollar increase is just due to the price cut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it.
It just seems like it's a negligible
performance, increase.
And then
those clocks go up a little bit, but that's it.
Also 14 millimeter plus, and that probably helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also are increasing. Are they increasing the PCIe lanes? I think they are.
Kind of. So long story short, they always had like 48 lanes at technically 64. That's a long story. They always had 48 lanes in the silicon, but there were just 4 of them disabled for LGA 2066. I don't know why. Like there's no real reason for it, since it's not even close to competing with like the bigger Xeons or the smaller core stuff. There's no reason to do that. But yeah, they did it anyway.
Do you think that was for product segmentation? Because I know like the Xeon equivalent of these CPUs obviously had the full unlocked lanes.
No, the Xeon W, the W2100 line, I don't think they had 41 lanes. Let me check. Xeon W 2100, I guess ARC.
Sure.
Because here we go. Top tier, 2195. 46-bit, 48 lanes. Oh, no, the Xeons actually did have 40 lanes.
Yeah, so basically it was for product segmentation. And they're only unlocking the full lanes to the quote-unquote consumer CPUs because you can buy a 64 PCI lane Threadripper soon.
That's very silly then that they would do that, because like they already did like product segmentation from you don't get ECC or you don't get whatever other server oriented features because it's not a Xeon.
But it's not out of character.
They're not really cannibalizing things.
No, they made it really clear with their different product SKUs. Says if you want all of these features, you are going to spend 4 times, sometimes even more money on this CPU that you're going to get negligible performance increase. But you get all the features that you're looking for. It's been like that for a long time.
Well, I mean, like equivalent Xeon and equivalent consumer chips are usually the same price. Like if you look at single socket Xeon E5 or Xeon W compared to i7 Extreme, it's usually about the same price. Or like Xeon E3 to Core i5, Core i7, it's about the same. And they usually have like the same specs, other than one has ECC and one might have an unlocked multiplier. Like there's really little difference there.
Understandable.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know.
It just sounds like it seems like this product is an answer to the fact that they don't have anything to put out right now, and this is just the next product for them.
Yeah, pretty much. Like there's no new silicon, there's no Cooper Lake yet. One thing that I am kind of curious about, so I was thinking about this earlier today. LGA 2066 should be able to support more PCI Express lanes than it does, I think. Because this is now for single socket only, so they don't have to support any QPI links or UPI links for multi-socket stuff. they can just reallocate the pins that they would have used for that for PCI Express. And I'm kind of curious as to why they didn't do that, unless it's to just keep the platform compatible.
Wouldn't that be a change made to the interface side of the CPU in terms of wiring?
Wait, no, hang on. Yeah, you're right, because if the last gen Xeon Ws also did that, they'd have to do that. Yeah, Intel wouldn't do that until next gen. That's too expensive.
It was like that thing with Threadripper versus the Epic when I believe it was Gerbauer was doing the testing to see if you could actually take a Threadripper CPU an Epic CPU and put it onto X2. Is it X399? I believe. And all he had to do. Yes, thank you. And all he did was take a little piece of electrical tape and cover up a single pin on the CPU, and it posted, but it didn't work because the pinout was different.
Yeah,
he just did that to prove a point, and it's like, well, this makes sense. However, Yeah, and it's something that's just completely changed with the electrical side of it.
Yeah, I'm also curious because they've gotten rid of 16 core SKU. It's $800 for 14 and $1,000 for 18. So we would expect $900 for 18 or for 16, but that's just not there. But then the 12 core SKU is. And I'm kind of unclear on that. It's like, why did they think there was no gap between 14 and 18, but there was a gap between 10 and 14?
But also the price difference between the 12 and the 14 and the 18 versus the 12 and the 14, 8 scales.
Well, no, I mean, it's $100 every 2 years.
Yeah, so they just skipped.
Yeah, they skipped.
Yeah.
So why did they skip one but not the other?
Who knows, honestly. Yeah.
Also, am I the only one who's actually not upset with this naming convention?
Yeah, probably.
That's fine.
I mean, yes, it is, but they already kind of screwed themselves once they hit the 9000 series CPUs, and in order to maintain integrity, the 10 was the only other option. Yes, the name is ridiculous.
They could have gone full Nvidia with their GPUs since 1160s. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real easy answer.
What else?
At least
I think
with Nvidia, they can just afford to do away with any sort of consistent naming convention.
Yeah, I don't think Nvidia cares.
Exactly, but on the Intel side, where they're selling CPUs on a very, very wide market, be it system builders, server builders, just general CPUs, and they kind of need some consistency.
No, you know who cares even less than Nvidia? AMD on the GPU side of things. We went from Radeon 1000 through Radeon 8000. Then we went to like R9 200 and R9 300. And then that became RX 400, RX 500.
Yep.
And the RX 600 series exists, but it's OEM exclusive. And then there's like the RX 5000 series that came out of nowhere, but it sounds kind of like RTX 5000. I guess that's
that like the HD 5000 series.
Yeah, basically.
Oh God, yeah. It's like it. I don't like it at all. It's very not good.
Basically, the naming for the GPU market does not matter. It is the Wild West of naming conventions, and CPUs actually are apparently forced to maintain some form of standard.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, because then I'm curious about the server side GPUs. I'm fairly certain that those, at least from the Nvidia perspective, the server side Tesla, or is it Tesla's? Am I?
Yeah. Quadro. Well,
Quadros.
Tesla for server, Quadro for workstation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are just marketed as their chip name. So
only GP100 and GV100. The other ones are like Quadro, like
4000, Quadro 6000, etc.
Yeah, and they'll have like K in front for Kepler, M in front for Maxwell.
Right.
Teslas are the same way, except they're also kind of a mess.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's very dumb. It doesn't matter in the end.
The best naming convention was done by 3DFX, who named their graphics cards. I know this is groundbreaking. Voodoo 1, Voodoo 2, Voodoo 3. That's how they did it. And it worked. Well, I mean,
back in the good old days of having one single chipset.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Of 3D graphics. But above all, regarding the Intel thing, just back to that for a second. This is the third generation on the exact same platform.
Yep.
That Intel is releasing the same 18-core CPUs. And like, yes, it's Cascade Lake instead of Skylake, but it's the same thing. It's like hardened for Spectre and Meltdown and hardware, so it might be faster because of that. You're not getting anything new. It's very boring.
Right.
Meanwhile, Threadripper is very new, and right now, 12-core Threadripper 1920X, $200 on Amazon. Go buy one. Like,
no.
Okay, Simmons, first of all, you absolutely... I hate you. Second of all, yeah, like, Threadripper's exciting. The old stuff is cheap, and the new stuff is going to be real neat. Intel is not doing it here.
Trying to tell me the 980X is a horrible investment?
Oh, no, 980X... Gulftown was great, dude. Gulftown is god tier. S
It's a little
tier.
bit old now.
It speaks truth.
But yeah, these Intel Cascade Lake X CPUs are dropping tomorrow, actually, October the 7th. So expect a bunch of reactionary benchmarks to come out. I'm sure a lot of reviewers are not happy about the release day suddenly being shoved forward. It means they have to kind of shift around their schedules and stuff. But it'll be interesting now. They've kind of shoved HEDT back into kind of a little bit of an affordable standpoint. But I think it's still got a long way to go before you can actually think about, realistically buying one and getting increased performance on all fronts, really. Because these things will be harder to overclock than the consumer counterparts.
Oh, yeah.
Overclocking basically dead. Like, everything's running so close to the edge at this point.
And they have to sell it that way.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to, in terms of overclocking on Intel's side now, I think the 9000 series kind of shows where it is, where you're not really pushing much past beyond 5 gigahertz. You're just kind of raising all the cores up to 5 gigahertz. And with the 9900KS turbo boosting all cores to 5 gigahertz, that's, pretty much what you want to do anyway. So,
right.
And AMD's sort of boost system is very, very good. So overclocking those often actually results in negative performance gain, if you will, because you need to disable that, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just pushed overclocking into the liquid nitrogen realm, which is kind of a shame from the general consumer hobbyist perspective. But I think it's also kind of neat, just showing what can be pushed from the factory these days.
Yeah, because I do believe that GPU overclocking, for example, has also gone down a lot. I don't really overclock mine because I don't get much of a benefit from it.
Yeah, boost algorithms, just like, if there is thermal headroom and there is like power limits available, then it will.
But that is also, we won't really know. Like, maybe 10 nanometer from Intel will be different,
Nah, 10 nanometer is hot right now. Ice Lake's top.
All right, Chris, you need to repeat yourself.
What?
We're going to probably need to edit the podcast here because you were dropping out through all.
I don't know what the problem is.
My mic's right next to my mouth. Hi, how's this? Is it better?
Oh God, my audio.
Yeah.
No. Hi. Okay.
No, you might have to set your gain settings on Discord. Are you on auto or are you push to talk?
I'm on voice detect and my mouth is here. Automatically determine input sensitivity. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's cool. Discord, you changed that for me.
It changes that when you change microphones.
Yes.
Okay. So probably when I unplugged my microphone and plugged it back in at one point.
Yep.
Yes. That's a thing to check. Hi. Okay.
What is 44 minus 17? Or what timestamp was this? 16 minutes plus 7 is 21 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it got bad when you're like ranting because then it just cut out for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's much better now.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to. Okay, yeah. Discord can have their stupid ass cutesy ooh woo messages, but they can't have consistent.
Ooh, messages.
Go back to your little tirade real quick.
I don't remember.
Sorry. Can we just be quiet for like a little bit so I can see it easily?
Yeah. It's picking up the goddamn AC, isn't it?
It's fine.
Fine.
Okay.
Well, we can continue now. Okay, I have no idea where we were.
So we will just call it technical difficulties, and I guess we can pick up at the next topic.
Alex, so when you cut all of that out, please add some like mariachi band music for a few brief seconds.
Should I just go straight to like mariachi music and we should just come back saying, hi, we're having technical difficulty.
4 hours later.
You know what? You should just come back, just like cut out that portion where you tripped on technical difficulties, and then we'll just continue. Yeah, sorry, we're having technical.
All right, so this never happened. Next story. There we go. Grand Theft Horso or other things.
Yeah.
Yes.
You brought it up. Tell us about it, Cynical.
Grand Theft Horso. That's a game that I care about because it's a Rockstar game. Grand Theft Horso 2 finally hits PC next month, and a Steam release is coming in November. So, this has made a lot of people angry. Grand Theft Horso, the hit Rockstar game, it's Grand Theft Auto with horses, is finally getting ported to PC. So that's exciting. And Grand Theft Horso Online, I assume, will be coming with it as well. There's no trailer yet for the game, apparently, but they are Rockstar is promising graphical improvements and some new missions and whatnot. So pre-orders will begin on October 9th for the Rockstar Games launcher. It's currently exclusive. Yeah, Rockstar is their own launcher now, so that's lovely.
Well, not now. They've had it for a long time, actually. GTA 5 goes through the launcher.
Oh, does
It's
it?
too. Well, they call it Social Club.
Yeah, it's actually not that invasive because...
Oh, is that what Social Club is? That's the launcher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steam launches the launcher.
That was there since...
Silly.
I thought Social Club was its own point. Okay, well, either way.
Guys, there's a cat on my lap.
Pet the cat.
Please pet the cat.
Of course I am.
Good boy.
So wait, hold on. Am I reading this correctly? So it's released on the Rockstar launcher on October 9th. It's then available for pre-orders for Epic, Humble, GameStop, Green Man, whatever, on November 5th? Or so it's going to be released?
No, so pre-orders on the Rockstar game launcher will open on October the 9th.
Oh my god. Okay, let's look this through. So Grand Theft Horso will have pre-orders begin on October 9th. Pre-orders for a digital good. Great.
Yes.
It will be exclusive to that. Wait,
so it'll be exclusive to the Rockstar Games launcher, the Epic Store, Humble Store, GameStop, Green Man Gaming.
No, Alex, hang on a second. Let's go through the dates. October 9th, Rockstar Games launcher pre-order exclusive. October 23rd, pre-orders open up for other platforms for a little bit. Yes, pre-orders will also be available via Epic Store, Humble Store, GameStop, Green Band Gaming, and some other retailers on October 23rd, which means we have like a 2-week window where you can only pre-order through the Rockstar launcher, but it doesn't come out until November 5th.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a timed exclusive for pre-orders, and the timed exclusivity ends before the game comes out.
Well, here's the benefit, though.
Oh, I hate this.
I think my favorite one
is that you get a bunch of free games if you pre-order through the launcher, and you get those 2 free games immediately. You can choose from GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Fully, LA Noire, and Max Payne. So you get a bunch of free games. And here's the thing about that. The second you get them, you can just return your pre-order and just keep the free games. And I've done that a bunch of times.
Oh, that's wonderful. And then, of course, the last excerpt is it will eventually come to Steam, but unknown date in December.
So they've got exclusivity for a month, which means people are going to get very angry about this timed exclusivity, a very vocal minority, because Grand Theft Horso is a Rockstar game. It will sell a lot of copies for that month.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody who is
Game,
complaining
man.
is making a dent in Rockstar's coffers there.
It's crazy. Like all the major retailers always release their games in November. Call of Duty does it. EA does it. It's
It's
ridiculous.
right before Christmas, dude. So
I
people
know,
can
but
buy
like
'em
that's
for the
gotta
kids.
suck if you're like an indie dev or something like that.
I know. Yeah.
They time it for not Christmas, pretty much.
Indie devs can release the rest of the year.
Yeah, basically.
And I'm pretty certain, like I know with Apple, their iPhone sales in Christmas period, it makes up something like 90% of their sales for the year. It's
Of
pretty
course.
Yeah, I don't know if 90% I just made up, but they said it's like makes up the vast majority of the year.
Looking that up
And-
right now. Hang on.
Go for it. But yeah, it is still going to come to Steam. It's not something I'm itching to buy or play either, so I'll probably get it on a Steam sale.
I still
when it
haven't
comes-
played the GTA 5 single player. I played the tutorial so I could get to online.
Yeah, that's basically what
was
I
it.
did.
I was actually really annoyed with the GTA 5 single player. Like I got probably halfway, and then I upgraded my PC. Like Windows, went from like 1703 to 1709 or whatever, and it cleared out my documents folder, which cleared out my save game. And
Oh.
yeah, this was like probably a few months before it would actually had the Steam Cloud save games.
Oh
Okay.
god.
I'm
Yeah,
going
I
to say
just
it
lost
straight
all of
up.
it.
Games that save to your documents folder need to stop.
Yeah,
But they-
they're the
that's
worst. That's what
such an-
update is for.
That's a
It's such an
1995 type thing. That's when the
Yeah,
reason
it was
that
literally in save games.
dude, Windows has a folder for that. Yeah, it has my games. It's always been like that. It's never
Mhm.
changed for like 20 years.
Actually, let's see
Yeah.
what I've got in here. We've got Arduino that makes
That's not a game.
that makes a folder. I know. I'm just looking at software though. That just makes like safe locations in my documents. We got Adobe shit, BioShock, BioWare, Cities in Motion. That's an indie game. Creeper World 3. That's an indie game. Hell, that was the install location because I needed like stuff. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and 3. Why is there this much stuff? Also Square Enix and all of Rockstar. Yeah, just because 2 saves there.
Okay,
Like,
so
half of the folders in my documents are games.
Sorry, what did you say? Cluster Truck?
Cluster
Yeah.
Truck. It is
dude.
the only game that I speedrun.
It's one of those games that like you think would what it's like. It kind of reminds me of Temple Run a bit. Explain to them what Cluster Truck is, man. Like,
Yeah,
I need
sure.
to know.
So you've got your platformers. This is a floaty first-person platformer, and your objective is to get to the end of the level by jumping on trucks. If you touch the ground, you have to start the level over.
Now, when you say first
Okay.
person, do you mean first person like Minecraft?
Yes, actually.
Oh my.
That's a very
goodness.
specific thing. Or like every other first person shooter ever made. But
Oh,
my
you-
parents don't let me play those.
Chris,
Oh,
is
Oh.
Minecraft a first person shooter?
Actually, yes, they have crossbows in Minecraft
Okay, no,
now.
that's it. That's
like
it.
a gun.
No
They have
explanation.
crossbows in
No
Call of Duty.
explanation. Minecraft is an FPS. Okay.
I only
So-
play second-person shooters. Thank you very much.
Yo, you have third person view and first person view. What is second person view?
It's the
pointing
camera
at
points at your
player.
face.
There was a video on Reddit about this pretty recently about what a second-person shooter would look like, and it's basically
Look
you
ridiculous.
controlling another character controlling something else.
Well, no.
Um,
Have you played
No.
Minecraft and then gone to the third person setting, which it looks at your face?
Yeah,
God.
just like the reverse.
There you go. Second person Minecraft.
Jesus.
Okay.
It
makes
all
sense.
comes back to Minecraft.
Yeah,
All
it's
comes back.
Minecraft all the way down.
So it's something a bit more relevant than second person shooters and Chris's app data folder.
That was my documents, Alex. It wasn't app data. I wish all that stuff were in app data.
Okay. Anyway,
You don't
that's
listen
fun.
to me, Mom.
No, I don't.
My
I really
goodness.
don't. I just kind of zone out after a while. I'm going to be honest. So
Same.
you zone out when you're speaking yourself.
Yeah, dude. I don't listen to myself. I just say
Words
words.
Oh my god.
They just fall out of your mouth, and you're like, "Well, that happened."
You look
Pretty
in the mirror and
much.
talk, you pass out?
Sorry, what was that, Frick?
If he looks in the mirror and he talks to himself, does he pass out?
No,
Um,
it just kind of
It's just like
Happens.
static.
Yes.
Like, like the sound of tinnitus. That's just what it is.
Oh God, no!
All right.
That's a horrible thing.
You know,
You just
the-
reminded everybody that has tinnitus that they have tinnitus, Alex.
Is it tinnitus or tinnitus?
It's tonight.
Yes. No, because
Please stop.
Oh,
because
boy.
I
I'm
have
helping.
tinnitus. I have tinnitus, and I don't remember it until somebody brings it up.
Well, you brought it. I think you brought it up to yourself.
Yeah,
No,
this
it's
is
not.
your fault, Frick.
Second
That was
person
me.
tinnitus.
Yes.
What about third person?
Go ahead,
No.
Alex.
Third person would be you blasting the sound at somebody else through a loudspeaker.
Right. Anyway,
Oh no, I'm
Um,
hearing ringing too.
that's nice. So, if I can finally do this.
Hey!
AMD,
Oh, that wasn't profanity.
No.
no. AMD Ryzen CPUs are getting some microcode improvements. Again, for like the 17th time. The new AGESA update is apparently bringing over 100 new features to Ryzen-based CPUs. And it's just a nice little FYI. Lots of performance improvements, as well as additional features, quote unquote. This is AGESA 1004, and doesn't have any bug fixes. It just has performance increases, basically.
No,
And-
features that don't just include bug fixes, but also additional features.
Yes.
Read better.
Okay. Yeah, but there's not much about that, really. It's just that's what it is. It's nothing.
And basically, so if you haven't bought a Ryzen yet, it's still the
It's-
CPU to get for new builders. This just adds on.
free performance, frick.
Uh,
It's just giving you performance.
They just
Coffee Lake still outperforms. First of all, Coffee Lake still outperforms it in games. Second of all, if like firmware updates and microcode and BIOS and all that crap is improving performance, that just means that's performance that should have been there in the first place. But AMD
This
is bad at
free
making drivers.
performance.
AMD's bad at making firmware and drivers and all. They're just
Is
bad at
Intel
it.
giving you
Hey,
free performance?
Okay,
They're
Chris.
taking away your performance with them.
They're stealing my nanometers.
Oh, my
I was gonna
goodness.
say. I mean, if anything, this just shows that the Ryzen architecture still has. Oh, there's probably a lot of headroom that's just not tapped into yet. So I look forward to seeing
This is the
future-
same old AMD fine wine crap. No, this is performance that should be there in the first place.
And though I would tend to agree with you, I mean, it was pretty obvious that when Ryzen came to market, that there was a lot that was wrong that had to be fixed, and they pushed it to market so they could get the hype rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, and also as a
Yeah,
1900X
wow.
owner.
Advocating for the devil. Good job there, buddy. Could advocate for somebody nicer, but no, that's
No,
okay.
No, I am advocating for my 1900X, and you can't stop me.
Lisa Sue
Hate you,
is paying them a lot of
Simmons.
money. Here's the thing about anything like this. I look at it the same way you buy any piece of hardware. When you first buy a GPU, obviously it's going to be better the second year than the first year. I mean, that's just the way of the beast.
Yeah.
So
That's just
why-
drivers.
I just like it's amazing to me that just now like CPU, I guess drivers. I don't want to call them microcodes because it sounds cooler to say drivers. I'm updating the drivers of my CPU, but it's amazing to me now that driver CPU updates are such a big thing. Where before, I mean, when would those come out? Like once or twice a decade or something?
Yeah, right.
Well, as far as I understand, it's a little bit kind of, I don't know, people look at it a bit differently when they say AGESA updates for AMD, and then you kind of think, oh, what's that for Intel? For Intel, it's just, I don't think they probably have a name for it. I'm not aware of it, but it just gets pushed through your BIOS updates for your
Intel
Z390.
management engine.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it is, but
I'm not
There's
sure.
been,
if
like,
management engine would do
I think
that.
not 10, but there's been nearly 10 BIOS updates for my motherboard since I've got my my CPU.
Right.
They don't state like that we're improving performance in this. It's generally just bug fixes, new features. You know, they've added power features and different things like that and that. And like Chris said, maybe Intel's, sort of not quality control, but maybe their driver development, their BIOS development is just a lot more mature than AMD's because they didn't have or want to hit a certain launch date. So it's probably very mature upon release.
That makes sense. I mean, you
It's
got
also
to
very similar I mean, probably very similar microcode from Skylake, whereas Ryzen is like new.
Right.
Anytime you invest into a more mature ecosystem, you're going to get more results. But at the same time, I'm trying to like look at the benefits of this. On the one hand, you've got something that like Simon said, has a lot of performance that can still come out of it, which is great. On the other hand, you've got something that's a lot more proven. It's probably a lot more cheaper. So it's kind of like a tit for tat thing. Like, what if I'm new to the market? Like, what am I going for? Or do people even care at that micro of a level?
But then on the flip side of that argument, when you look at the performance for the price on the the mid range to low range, I mean the market's almost even at this point. It comes down to, do you want more cores or do you want more gigawatts or gigahertz or whatever you call them?
Gigahertz.
You should buy Coffee Lake because it's better in gaming.
Yeah,
I really like AMD's sort of 4-core 8-thread with a pretty powerful GPU on it. Is it Raven Ridge? Their APU lineup.
Oh yeah, that's Raven.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be getting replaced pretty soon.
That looks really cool. I mean, like the replacement for it will look better, but like for an HTPC, that seems pretty cool because, well, it's actually quite a powerful GPU.
The 3400G is out. Yeah, that's Picasso. It's just Raven Ridge, but 12 nanometer. It's the same kind of upgrade as like the Ryzen 1000 or Ryzen 2000. It's it clocks a bit better.
12 nanometer? Don't you mean 7?
No, it's 12. It's an APU. It's lagging behind a generation.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, is it using different?
No, it's
for the cores.
It's basically the same as 2000 series Ryzen CPUs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ryzen 2000 series was 12 nanometer CPU, 14 nanometer APU. The APUs, in a single product generation, the APUs are a single lithographic generation and architecture generation behind, I guess.
Right. Okay, because I thought it was going to be using the same sort of 7 nanometer Ryzen 3000 cores, but then...
Yeah, they'll be Ryzen 4000 series APUs. They'll be like the Ryzen 3000 series CPUs.
So do you remember when we were talking about the Intel 10000 series being a dumb name? That's pretty dumb.
They have
yeah.
Aren't they on like their internal GPUs are on like 4000 or 5000 now?
Intel?
Yeah.
They stopped that ages ago. They switched to like HD 500 and then UHD 600.
Yeah, so the latest ones are either UHD, but I think they're HD 730.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that sounds right, but I'm not sure. They haven't actually like changed the GPU at all, except for maybe introducing like video decoders.
It's the same crap GPU.
It's the same thing as it was in Skylake. Does a great job in Plex. I can't tell you that from personal experience, but
yes, because that's a common use case.
Yes, watching videos with your IGP, you ain't playing games on that, dude.
I meant the Plex scenario.
Oh, yeah. Well, regardless, it's low bitrate MPEG-4 over the internet, so hush you. Actually, no. Yeah, no.
I could imagine it making a difference. I need a GPU to on my HTPC, but I do suspect that's a lot of... Like, I have an issue with my 2500K playing back Netflix because of the DRM stuff. Like, my CPU goes to 90% usage.
Oh, boy.
God.
Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a lot about, I don't know which one, but the Spectre or Mountdown sort of mitigations, because my playing back like 4K footage locally is nowhere near that amount of resource usage. And playing it back also on my, I know it's a very unfair comparison, but playing it back on my 9900K or playing Netflix on my 9900K is also very low resource usage.
I don't remember what the instruction is called, but it was added with Skylake, I think. Basically, my CPU, which is Broadwell, is the newest CPU that like doesn't support Netflix's DRM decoding and hardware. Meanwhile, Skylake is the oldest one that does. And actually, you need, I think it's Skylake, it may be Kaby Lake at the bare minimum in order to do 4K Netflix at all. Just because of like instructions. Let me see what it is.
That's actually pretty interesting.
DRM instruction.
And not spoken about much, really.
Yeah. It's
But
just
anyway,
one of those things that kind of goes underneath the woodworks because nobody really cares as long as it works.
Here we
it's
go.
very
It is
obscure.
Kaby Lake, and
Do you mind just
Oh,
telling us
shoot.
what the actual sort of instruction thing is called, or the encoding thing?
I'm trying to find it. I'm just seeing a bunch of like tech bloggy articles that are like, "Yup, you need Kaby Lake," but it's not telling me why.
Well,
Okay.
Honestly,
while you search
Alex,
for that,
it sounds like
Okay.
you just need a new GPU in your HTC. And if you want to hold off until 2020, it sounds like we have a release date for Ampere.
yes, exactly.
You
And
want to talk about that?
well, you introduced it so lovely there, Simmons.
Oh,
I just
man.
can't help
Oh,
but
yeah.
let you just,
All right.
use your
so
buttery words across this lovely
So-
introduction.
Say
words.
Say with a flourish.
buttery
Oh,
words. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Ampere is going to be NVIDIA's new 7-nanometer GPU.
According
and
to WCCF. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
you are. And it is, we need to take this with a grain of salt because as of right now, we knew that Ampere was going to be coming out in 2020. We weren't clear of when it was coming out. And according to this WCCF leak, I guess if we want to call it that, allegedly we will be seeing it in first half of 2020. So that's
Okay.
exciting for the NVIDIA market, I suppose. Now, my only concern is I'm not sure how much performance increase that we will probably be seeing from Ampere. Just from my personal speculation, what I'm thinking maybe a 10% performance gain for maybe the exact same price GPUs that we had at launch on current gen. So I'm not super exciting. I'm not super excited about it though.
I'm actually quite excited, mainly because of, well, they're shifting to Samsung's 7-nanometer EUV process,
Right.
which apparently has quite good efficiency gains. Which,
Wait,
yes,
Simmons, why do you think it won't be that much better in terms of performance exactly?
Yeah, because for some reason I have this like nagging suspicion that it's basically just the same architecture that we currently have, but smaller and more efficient.
Well, yeah, that means they can jam more cores into the same area.
Do you think they would do that, or do you think they would just go for a die
yes.
shrink?
I think they'd go for a die
When
shrink.
does Nvidia ever do that? Like, I'm fairly
600
sure they're going
series.
for they might be going for chiplets. There's a chance that they do that, but like, no, they're not gonna. Nvidia is really, I don't want to say bad about this because it's a cool thing to do, but they're just really bad about like making really big dies really early, like Fermi, where they had to release wood screws because they could barely get GF100 to yield because they made a huge die on 40 nanometer too early. Kepler, they had to can GK100 and release GK110 because it was too big. Maxwell, that was still 28 nanometer. Pascal, they had like the reticule size for 16 nanometer, like on the very first release. Turing, that's even bigger. Volta, that's not
that's a
quite
good
as
point.
big. So yeah, Nvidia just keeps pushing it. Granted,
But
they
this-
also have like data center stuff where it's $10,000 a card or $20,000 a card, but still,
Right.
You have
mean,
to just. This means me getting a 2070 for $300. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at, right? It's like once they like, I get excited for the new releases just so I can buy
To
the
buy
last
the
gen
older
for cheap.
generation, yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind
Like-
of me though, but I don't need to upgrade my GPU. I
Like,
could,
I
but I
mean-
don't want to.
I think my best personal purchase was right before I think RTX dropped, and we started getting the benchmarks for those. People started fire sailing their GTX 1080s, and I managed to get a GTX 1080 classified used
For how much?
for about $200, $225.
dude, dabs.
What?
Yeah. I honestly, I'm still using it. It was mostly clean out of the box, and then it was funny because like 2 days later, after I impulse bought this thing, all the prices spiked when they realized that the RTX 2080 was similar performance to the 1080 Ti. So people still wanted the GPUs, so they just started. They're like, oh, well, this isn't as worth it, so we're just gonna mark up the price. So when I bought my 1080, I got it for $225. And then when I got my 1070 mini for my tiny computer, I got it for like $250.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow. See, I bought a GT. I bought the 1060 like right when it was released, and then when GPUs were like super expensive, I ended up picking up a 1070 for like $325, and I think I bought the 1060 for like $250, and I ended up selling the 1060 for like $250. After it was like a year and a half after I bought it too. I just got my money back. I'm just like,
Yeah,
yes.
the only reason GPUs like appreciate in value is because of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or altcoin or whatever.
Dogecoin will lead the market in GPU upheaval.
Well, clearly it's Dogecoin. Obviously.
First of all, I refuse to say altcoin because that acknowledges that like other cryptocurrencies exist, and number two, they're all Bitcoin. It's all just Bitcoin.
Well, there's a couple main ones that are really, really interesting. The one that
it's called Bitcoin, Frick. It's Bitcoin.
No, well, Bitcoin's
God.
cool, but there's a lot of things that Bitcoin does not do well, like privacy, for example, that a coin like Monero does really well. I'm not saying I've ever used it, but I'm just saying, in theory, if somebody wanted to use, buy something more sensitive, or they didn't want something traced back to them, if you use Bitcoin, all your stuff is public. All your transactions are public. Your wallet is public. Where you're sending it is public. Anyone can look it up, right? But if you use something like Monero or XMR, all that stuff gets jumbled in together and tumbled into a massive coin base that nobody can tell. Like, you can't tell where it is, who's got it, where it's going to be. You can't tell anything. And that is starting to get a lot more popularity because it does something that Bitcoin can't do.
Oh my goodness. Why
Okay,
are we
so
with you?
on that
Glad to be back.
Oh my
on that
God.
note,
I'm deleting that.
Looking at it right now. So I'm looking for right now. Okay, let me ask you this. If you guys are looking for a new card, are you going for refurbished? Because they're dirt cheap.
Refurbished?
Great.
Honestly,
Manufactured refurbished?
Maybe.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe.
like I would
No.
probably do like EVGA B stock if the price was maybe 25% more expensive than what I can find on eBay.
I'm seeing 2080s right here, refurbished, $500.
Just hang on a second. I'd like to point something out. Refurbished cards carry a very different warranty.
I'm aware, but
yeah, sometimes they only carry like 1 to 3 months warranty.
and
It is different in the EU where there's minimum warranties in place, but then they might get around it with that you're buying a secondhand product or something.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like when you're looking at that kind of limited warranty, it's almost not worth it because by the time the GPU fails, unless it's DOA from the box, it's going to be outside of warranty. So
Yeah, but like I don't know, it's just something to be aware of. Like I know with a lot of tech products, it's either like you get it and it dies within a week, or it'll just live forever.
But-
It's generally like that, but it's something to be aware of just in case.
Here's what you do. I've encountered this situation many a time. And let me introduce you to a wonderful thing. And it's the only time I will ever advocate going to Best Buy. But Best Buy has this warranty policy where I think that after a year, or a year or 2 years, something like that, if you go to the store with whatever item it is, GPUs, phones, whatever it is, I use for GPUs, and you want to return it because it's malfunctioning or something's wrong with it, they will replace it for you brand new, free of charge. It is the most useful thing on the planet. So anytime
Oh yeah, that's
like that, where I'm getting something refurbished, whatever, get the Best Buy warranty, replace it in a year if anything goes wrong, or even if I don't, they'll upgrade you and you can use it for like a better card. It is.
I didn't know Best Buy had refurbished stuff.
Oh, dude, they do. I abuse
do?
it constantly.
You can only get it online, right? Though.
Yeah,
can't
it's
buy it in
online,
store.
but it's the same thing.
Okay.
Same thing applies.
Okay. Yeah, I
I would
didn't know
be,
that.
you know how there's like quite a few crazes going on with like tech YouTubers of trying out different things, like, building a PC from Wish or building an all IKEA gaming setup or all Amazon gaming setup or something like that. I'd be really interested for one of those tech tubers to actually go and see how all those warranties are. Like, the Amazon warranty that no one ever purchases, or Best Buy's extended warranty. Or
okay, so
I simply don't trust anybody to honor their warranty.
So
That's how
here's
I go about my life.
Here's the thing with the
really?
Amazon warranty. So I've actually had to use the Amazon warranty. So Amazon actually doesn't have their own warranty service. It's through SquareTrade.
Yes.
Okay.
And anytime that we've had this extended warranty, for sometimes it's like a 3-year warranty or whatever, they have straight up replaced the device.
So how come I always see you like? Well, no. Anytime I see like your add to cart when it's like a PC or anything it's like related to PCs, it's like, do you want to add a warranty to it? And it's always below 2 stars rating.
Well,
like
sure.
It just seems like people hate the warranty
well,
all
okay.
the time.
So I'm willing to give because it's usually Square Trade, and I've had a positive experience with them. So let me just preface with that. Every time that I have reached out to them, you register the warranty, you make sure you remember your credentials for the account. That's the important one. And you file your claim, and it might take a couple weeks, but you're going to get something back. Now, it depends on what the warranty is for, but at least with my graphics card, or with the one graphics card that I knew we had to do a warranty claim on, they sent me a new graphics card. No big deal. And then we had another one with like with a smartphone, and I can't remember what the deal with that. I think they were actually just replaced the part. So I've had a positive experience. I can't speak for why other people say that they had a negative experience. I think it's probably due to they forgot their credentials. But
people make stuff up and they don't get it returned.
Yeah, I mean, and going back to like the whole eBay versus refurb, because I've been buying all my GPUs off of eBay for the past like 4 years. I've had one GPU that straight up died shortly after I got it, and because it was eBay, and as much as I can't stand PayPal actually required the vendor to give me a full refund, and I sent it back, and that was that.
The vendor, as in like the
or the seller, the seller.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that
was a slip up.
Like, hey, EVGA, so this guy's card broke.
Now, admittedly, the only GPU that I had issues with was obviously my Fury Nano, and that died after a couple years, but it was very obviously a mining GPU, so... Hey,
no, I don't know what happened.
The Fury Nano was like the mining GPU back in the day. It was very efficient, and you got damn near the same output as a Fury X or a Fury.
Was that in like the 960s or like the 1060s or something?
970s.
Yeah.
No, I think maybe the 980s. I know 1080s were also mining GPUs because they're efficient.
I know
1080s kind of sucked for mining back then.
Actually, no, 1080 was worse than the 1070 because GDDR5X had a different latency profile than GDDR5.
Yeah,
and
they were
for
most
Ethereum,
efficient.
no, 1070. I don't think you understand just how much the 1070 outperformed the 1080 in mining.
That was the other thing. Is like, remember when 1060s weren't available, because it wasn't a matter of the output. It was just the fact that the amount of output you're getting for the power consumed, it made sense.
Yeah.
But that was Ethereum. So
came around and
actually
ruined everything.
Yeah. Well.
And they just slowly started moving up, and then it was 1080 Ti's that were just everyone was trying to buy.
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
You know anybody that's still mining, I don't even think it's viable when they had ASICs.
Well, I mean, I remember seeing a video that was, I think it came out earlier this year, where some YouTuber went to a mining operation based out of Washington State, and it's viable for them because it's hydroelectric power and it's dirt cheap for them to just keep doing it.
Huh. And they're mining Bitcoin or altcoins?
I mean, at the time the video was shot, they were still doing Bitcoin on the ASIC miners, but
that's insane. The crazy people. That is
the only people who win when it comes to like coin mining are the hardware sellers and the people who have hardware on hand and have free or cheap electricity. Like I was mining in my dorm a lot because, hey, free electricity, it's already paid for, not my problem.
No, the people who really win are the people who end up with all of the Bitcoin in the end.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, right.
Because like, I mean, when there was that big whole political thing with Bitcoin several months ago, the big thing was the price kept going up because the availability was just shifting to China, and now the Bitcoins that were readily available were in higher demand, so the price went back up to like, that's when I think it hit $20,000 or something like that, or something.
Good God!
So I mean, it's just stocks. It is just
it stonks.
Well, to put, yeah, I mean, something kind of relevant. Around a month ago, it was, I'm not sure in US dollars, but in Canadian dollars, it was around $13,000 to $14,000 for one. And,
Wow,
Really?
That's
just hang-
over
just hang on,
$9
hang on.
US.
Hang on. In 2 days, it dropped from about 14,000 Canadian dollars to 10,000 Canadian dollars.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me get it in US dollars because that's easier to comprehend for Cynical. So it went from 10,000 US dollars on September the 23rd. September the 24th, it was 8,500. 25th, 8,500. 26th, 8,000. So it took a
Wow.
big 2,000 US dollar dip in 3 days.
And that's significant.
You guys want to make some
Yeah.
money mining? Here's what you do. You do what I did, and then what I always told people to do: don't mine
Okay, Frick, what is
Bitcoin.
this?
Don't mine all. Be smart about that. Okay, here's the thing. It's legal. I can tell people. So what you do is you don't
Disclaimer.
Look, I
It's
did
not
it. It was
legal.
legal. That's all I can tell you. I'm pretty sure it's still legal. So what you do is you go into these little groups called mining pools, and what they do
Oh, yeah.
is they look for the most profitable coin at that time. They mine it and they trade it either every hour or at the end of the day. That way, you're actually mining coins that have a low difficulty, so you can get a bunch and trade them quickly, and you get to turn that into Bitcoin and make hella stacks. That's what you
no,
do.
how-
Frick, that's been a thing since like forever.
I know. Oh, people don't know. The
That-
scrubs.
that's- No,
Simmons said-
Frick.
Simmons
that-
had these scrubs who are still using it to mine Bitcoin. I'm like, you guys are idiots.
No, but that's like different. They're probably in a pool of their own, or they might
Yeah.
be joined a pool. Like pools became popular when the first little spike went up when it went to $300.
Mhm.
So Frick, I'm sorry, but your news is outdated.
It
Hey,
works.
Frick, remember that time?
Chris,
All right,
I'd like
hang
to
on.
point out every 20 minutes is brilliant.
Oh, dude, how many? We got like 4 things to cut out, and they're all thanks to me.
Boy, do I love this mariachi music.
It's very entertaining.
Just make it like increasingly distorted as each cut goes on.
God. All right. So,
Anyway, back to the or rounding back to the Ampere thing on 7 nanometer. Yeah, that's going to be on Samsung's new node. And speaking of sort of, production or lithography companies and factories, TSMC is fighting back against Glowflow with lawsuits of their own. So
great
you might,
transition.
thank you. You might remember that Glowflow got a little bit antsy that TSMC was, just completely slaughtering them. So they decided to sue them for copyright infringement on sort of lithography processes. And TSMC was kind of bluntly replied saying, maybe you shouldn't sue us, maybe you should make better products. And kind of died down. And now TSMC's lawyers have gone, hey, we just noticed Glowflow, according, if you want to go off of what they said we copied, Glowflow copied a bunch of stuff from us, and they have 25 sort of different lawsuits where they suspect or are claiming that Global Foundries have infringed on TSMC's own patents. And they say they're going to vigorously defend their own patents. While it's funny, patents. While
Thank
it's
you.
funny, this is only really going to hurt us, like
Yeah, I know.
consumers.
No, it's not. So,
Yeah.
long
Okay.
story short, basically, Glowflow wants to sue TSMC and a bunch of other guys. TSMC is one of the victims, and they're like, hey, well, we'll just countersue. And litigation is expensive, so what's going to happen is their lawyers are going to meet up, and they're going to come up with some kind of cross-licensing agreement and just drop the case. So
No,
that's
that's like ideal if this kind of goes through, but if they just kind of start slinging mud at each other and actually start slapping giant fines, or at worst, you can't use this lithography process, it could mean things get really expensive.
yeah,
This isn't like a small.
it's not going to happen.
For like a slight amount of copy. These are billions of dollars we're talking about. I don't think they're going to be like, it's fine. We'll just forget about all that stuff. They're like, no, money, please, and money now.
Right.
Yeah, these all end in cross-licensing agreements, and frankly, IBM, of course, has like more patents than any other entity. I think for like a good 30 years straight, for like the past 30 years, IBM has held the records for like most patents granted in the US for that year.
Kat, do you have
they
any
have a
insights
lot.
on this?
Hmm?
Do you have any insights on IBM's patents?
No, why? I don't understand them when I come across them at work.
Oh,
Don't
yeah, that's right.
understand
You do that.
And Mr. IBM comes in and slaps his little form down. 50 patents, please. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, 50 patents. I'll take 50
Slaps
patents.
the hood of this patent. This baby will do things.
This baby
No.
can fit so much intellectual property in it. Slaps roof of IBM.
Wow.
Oh my god. Wow.
So yeah,
Phillips,
I mean,
made a meme.
even if it does result in sort of cross-company agreements, that could raise prices. I mean, if you think about it, like if they're going to have to spend, 5% fee on making this or whatever, where are they going to put the 5% fee to? Are they going to absorb it or just forward it?
Well,
And they're
no,
going
I
to
mean,
forward
like,
it to Nvidia potentially, who might potentially forward it to us.
as far as I know, the way cross-licensing agreements work, it's basically a ceasefire. Like, we can use this stuff. Like, yeah, these patents, yeah, you can use them. It's fine. It's fine.
No,
and
but
we can
aren't
use
there-
these. No
aren't
money.
there-
It's just we agree to do it. We agree to share.
Aren't there
Sure.
some which is like you can use it, but you have to pay a fee of X every sort of year or whatever by the profits you make from that?
Well, sure, that would be a licensing agreement, but like cross-licensing agreements, I don't think they usually do that. Like, yeah, I anal. I'm not a lawyer, but
Yeah,
yeah.
We'll see what happens with this. But hey,
So I really want to talk about this next topic.
go for it.
Yes, yay.
Yeah, so Microsoft Surface announcement. I cannot remember what the event was called, but it does not matter. Microsoft announced a bunch of new products, including the Surface Pro 7, a AMD powered 15-inch laptop. The interesting one being the Surface Neo, which is the two 9-inch screen thing, which apparently is going to be coming with a new operating system known as Windows Lite. And this new flavor of Windows
Hang on a second.
What?
Haven't they done Windows Lite before?
Yeah, but I think it didn't take off, so they're relaunching.
Do you mean
it.
Windows RT?
No, that like as in Windows XP Lite, or was it XP Home? Not Home, Student.
XP
Do you remember?
Starter?
Okay.
Starter.
XP Embedded?
No, Chris, that's a bit too far gone.
Well, I'm
No.
trying to think of XP variants here.
You don't understand.
No, I don't.
It's the new improved Windows Lite because it's based on Windows 10. That's what
Okay.
counts here. No. So basically, it seems like the idea with Windows Lite is they're trying to go more for like mobile-oriented products, like the iPad space, the tablet space. So they're doing their own take on that. I guess what they've been doing with the mobile flavor that they have of Windows on the current Surface offerings. Just it's going to be hard baked in, and they're going to try to do support for the dual screen functionality that comes with Surface Neo. One of the things that they demoed was you turned your Neo sideways, so you have your dual portrait mode screens, and then when you full screened it, half of the UI was on the one side and half the UI was on the other side versus just all stacked vertically. It just seems
I'm thinking in terms of the OS though, do you remember that news that came out? I want to say it was like a year ago where Microsoft was making like Windows 10 S, I think. It was like Windows 10 but restricted to Microsoft Store apps only.
I do remember that, but I don't think a whole lot of headway was made to it. Just being not received well.
My understanding is that Windows 10 X or Windows 10 Lite or whatever this is, Windows Lite internally at Microsoft. There we go. So, like, as I understand it, that's what this is, but it's able to multitask and have two Windows Universal apps open at the same time.
Right.
I assume that's what came of this. Because I don't think it's just, hey, here's a weird executable I found on the internet. Let's go run it. I don't think it's going to be like that.
So my big take on this is the fact that, they're trying to focus on the dual screen thing here, right? On Android, or at least on the Samsung flavor of Android, you have split screen apps. That's already a thing. I guarantee that they will have support for split screen apps on just the generic tablet devices if they're also going for Windows Lite, which I assume that's the move that they're trying to go, pushing all their Surface products to Windows Lite.
Sadly.
Well, I mean, I could see the Surface Book staying in that space because it is just a laptop with a detached screen.
Yeah.
But I digress. I could see the big perk being here running 3 or 4 apps at the same time on your dual screen setup. It's just speculation, but
yeah, I think it's actually really cool. There's some laptops coming out with sort of a dual screen, if you will, to the normal screen, but then like a third of the keyboard is a screen, and it looks pretty cool.
Well, I think they look weird, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like a solution looking for a problem. It's kind of like, it's neat, but really expensive. And
the only multi-screen laptop I want is that Razer one that got stolen.
Yeah, that thing is so fragile, though.
Honestly, God, I wish I had stolen it.
Well, that would have involved you having to go to CES.
Oh, yeah.
Clarification, Chris did not steal it.
Yeah, it's okay. We can leave that one in.
So, in my opinion, the dual screen Surface is kind of an answer to what we've been seeing with the folding phones or the wraparound screen phones. It's just another way to have more multitasking on a single device. And
it's a Galaxy Fold, but it's not stupid.
Exactly. And but the issue with that I immediately had when I saw the Surface Neo is like, okay, so you're basically having a dual screen laptop and you're omitting the keyboard because that's what we want. Typing on keyboards is clearly the superior. No, I hate it. But one of the neat things that they demoed with it was they had a keyboard that flipped up from the back of, I guess, what you would call the bottom screen. And when it went and so you could run it independently from the device, just like sitting in front of it, and it worked just fine like a normal device. Or if you flipped it onto the screen, you had like the Windows emoji menu and like Imgur gift search or Twitter gift search right above it. So that was kind of neat. But if you also slid your keyboard to the top of the screen, it gave you a touchpad. So I thought that was kind of nifty, and I already know that it's going to be buggy as all get out. But I still find it neat, even though I will probably never own this product.
Said it once, I'll say it again. The double screen revolution is taking over.
I don't like it.
It's coming.
I don't like it. It's weird. It's weird.
Screen. And then
why do you need 2 screens? No, then quadruple. There's not going to be 3. It's just going to go straight from 2.
We have 4.
Well, remember the Nintendo 3DS had 6 screens because it was like 3DSs.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. You weren't wrong, actually.
Wow. Wowzers.
So on the news of the Windows 10 Lite, I will be very interested to see if it comes to all Surface products. I have a Surface Book, and I'll let you know. But it would be interesting because the Surface Book, I have the first gen one, and I don't want to say it's showing its age, but you can definitely tell it's not as powerful as it used to be.
Sure. I mean, that's just the planned obsolescence baked into the device.
Right. Okay. But yeah, no, it's a dual core with hyperthreading plus a 950M. And
oh yeah, that's
if Windows 10 Lite does actually like reduce sort of resource consumption, especially with the 8 gigs of RAM and stuff like that, it would be interesting because I don't need it as a desktop replacement, and if we can get near to kind of being actually competitive with like a MacBook Air in terms of, well, OS X is very low resource usage because it's not Windows, so it'd be nice to see. Or it could be Windows XP Starter and terrible again. But hey.
Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. that amazing insight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I just continue our rant from the past 2 episodes where I just want a mobile style device that is just not cutting out unnecessary features?
Oh,
But
yeah.
Simmons, don't you
Yeah.
want it thinner and lighter? Don't
No.
you want a phone that can double as a razor blade? A phone so thin that you can just cut things with it.
And I want a 1,000-degree smartphone. Where do I get one of those?
Oh god, you're bringing back the 1,000-degree knife.
I wanted to jump on that. That was the best trend that lasted for like a week. It was great.
Frick, how come you never made a video on a 1,000-degree knife versus candy?
Couldn't find a knife.
You couldn't find a knife.
knife?
They wouldn't give me one.
Wait. What?
Frank isn't allowed to have sharp objects.
Oh,
Wait,
boy.
really?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Frick, why is your laugh like SK? Why does it sound like that? Yeah,
Go horse.
yeah, that's how horses laugh.
yeah.
Okay, anyway, Frick, we have some amazing sort of non-tech related news.
This is my favorite part.
Kat, you've been rather quiet, actually. I was going to give
I know,
Frick one
I'm
of these
sorry.
topics. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's fine. Don't worry. But introduce one of these amazing news topics we have here. They are very unique.
You want me to introduce it?
Go for it.
Yes.
Hold on, I have to go to the. I don't have the thing open. Damn it.
All right. And while she opens the thing, enjoy some mariachi music.
No, Simmons, you're not editing this.
I can try.
Mariachi music is only for when I'm an idiot.
You might want to mark that one too.
And the best bit is I'm just going to play mariachi music through the entire background
Wait,
of you
let's
speaking.
let's talk about the car thieves thing.
What about the
Then
car?
introduce it. Go for it, Kat.
Okay, so in Madison, Wisconsin, there were car thieves, and they left the car behind because they don't know how to drive manual. I guess you
know
don't
how to
really.
drive?
I don't know how to drive manual, but
Oh,
like,
okay.
I guess if you're like going into a car to steal it, like you don't look to see if it's manual or not before you decide you're going to steal it, right? Because you can't tell by the way a car looks on the outside. But that's really
if you
funny,
look through
though.
the window, you probably can.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe it was
but-
tinted.
Maybe it was dark and you couldn't see.
That would be illegal.
Kat, I'm going to take this opportunity to rant, knowing that you are older than me. But this is what's the problem with you millennials these days, not being able to drive a stick shift.
Listen. I didn't get my license until I was 23.
Okay, fair enough.
Wow!
That
That's
was
the
a-
same age I might get my license.
Wow,
Chris,
we
you've never
have something
driven
in common.
I have literally driven a car, Alex. I have been driving since I was 16. I just don't have my license.
No, but in regards to the topic, I think the context of it being a car thief is actually kind of funny because I remember we took my dad's Mercedes to go get its oil change, and we went to the Mercedes dealership, and the kid who was going to drive the car into the shop could not drive it into the shop because the kid working at the dealership could not drive a stick.
Wow.
Well,
Here's the-
how far did he have to drive?
About maybe 200 feet tops.
Okay, so it was like inside a parking lot. You don't even have to shift out of first gear for that.
Exactly.
It's using the clutch.
But no. I think the big takeaway is you work at a Mercedes dealership and you can't drive a manual transmission.
Yeah.
Right, so-
Then again,
wait.
Mercedeses are like 99.99999% auto.
I know
Like
they
finding
are.
a manual Mercedes is actually really hard.
I was going to ask you about this, Alex, because I don't know nothing about no cars, but I do know that there's like this odd stigma about people with automatic lovers and manual lovers or something. Like there's this race war or class war between them. I don't know
Well,
why.
because people that can drive manual are elitist, man.
That's true.
It's like
And
the
people
PC
who drive
master
a-
race of car
Well,
drivers.
No, I think it's just a really I don't know. So
The reason that automatic transmissions are so common in America is because of our high rate of diabetes, and we have to have our feet amputated so we can't use the clutch.
Oh my
That
god.
is,
So
You're gonna leave that in?
okay, so like in all seriousness, I think it's kind of hard to approach it like that. There's no kind of easy answer, but another way that maybe I could answer that question is I think different people look for different things in cars, and that kind of ties into an automatic versus manual transmission.
Mhm.
So a lot of car enthusiasts tend to look they look at cars as being fun, and all aspects of it, whether it be, you know, visual, audio, you know, how the engine sounds, how it makes them feel when driving it, sort of having, you know, sort of memories, experiences of that car, putting it together. So project cars are, you know, a very popular thing if you can afford it.
Yeah, Project Cars is a really good simulator.
Oh,
I just want a car that
No,
looks cool.
Well, okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is like there's a demographic, there's a type of person that just really enjoys cars and enjoys having fun in cars. And a manual transmission, it's not just, you know, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right for changing gears. It's more sort of directly connected, if you will, because of you can push the clutch, feel the clutch plates moving and stuff like that, and then binding back together. You can feel with, you know, the gear lever, also the gears going in and stuff like that. So it provides a more engaging experience. Is it quicker? I mean, obviously not. A dual clutch transmission's a lot quicker, and so why it's pretty much predominantly only used in racing these days. It's, you know, it's not saying it's better, but it's more fun for a lot of people, and that's why people do it.
About all the benefits of them. So apparently there's all these benefits about manual versus automatic transmissions. One of them, manual cars get better fuel economy than automatic.
Yeah, that is.
Transmission costs less than an automatic.
That's
accurate.
So just hang on. So on the first one, a manual transmission has less parasitic losses, which means that less of the engine's power is going towards powering the transmission. So in theory, it will be more fuel efficient. But with fuel efficiency, honestly, the biggest factor in fuel efficiency is the person behind the wheel. I've seen so many people go and buy cars. Like I have a friend who made a decision on what engine to get in his VW Polo, and he got the 1.6 naturally aspirated over the 1.4 turbo because the 1.6 got 1 mile a gallon better. And then, no, I'm not even joking. And then he drove it like an absolute moron and got worse fuel economy than my 2.4 liter K24, which made like 260 horsepower. Yeah, the thing made 260 horsepower, and it got better fuel economy than his than his 70 horsepower 1.6 VW Polo because he drove like a moron.
Then Alex, and the next point actually curtails into that. A car with a manual transmission costs less than the same mile with an automatic. So wouldn't
automatic transmissions are expensive?
No, that depends a lot. So a lot of the time in America and Canada, they will cost less. But in South Africa, for example, or the UK, I believe, automatics cost more. It's a lot about availability and demand.
Right. Yeah, because if you go over to Europe, especially, it's predominantly manual transmission, and also diesel is still a very common, or is like one of the more common vehicles, because, you know, diesel fuel cheaper. And that's just the culture over there. Everybody drives a stick over there. And then over in America, everybody drives an automatic. So the stick is kind of dying over here.
Yep.
That being said, manual cars are kind of actually not becoming always cheaper because it is now a whole separate SKU that manufacturers have to make through the process. And some are just dropping it all together. Toyota, the original designer of the Supra, said they would have loved to do a manual in the Supra, but they wouldn't have made money from it. So if there is enough demand to justify it, they'll do it. But I promise you they won't, because as much as people like to say, oh, you know, you should have made a manual Supra or a manual GTR, the people actually buying those cars seem to not care. So
I was wondering about that too, because the what people actually pay for something, like the branding and like all the other stuff comes into play as well. I'm on Edmunds as we were talking about that, and I was like comparing the prices, and this is a little off the beaten path. I had no idea that use Maseratis were so cheap. I'm looking at one from 2015.
They are super, super unreliable. Like
A
really
2015
unreliable.
Maserati Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli.
No, it's the same as Ghibli, like the
$20,000.
same as Studio Ghibli. Yeah.
$20,000 for a 2015 Maserati. What?
Yeah, but see, so that's also like old Porsches are quite cheap, but the parts don't, depreciate with the value. So your Porsche Boxster from 1999 can be, $10,000 US, but the brakes will still cost $3,000 US, and you need to get those done more than you think because there's no brake cooling. And it's stuff like that, or like the PDK gearbox and Porsche Boxsters originally just dies all the time. It's super unreliable. The Ghibli from Maserati, again, there's a lot of engine problems with those and gearbox problems. And the interior trim looks like it's been put together by, a monkey. So
It's a Maserati, though.
yeah, you can get a cheap one, but then, it's going to cost you way more than that in services and maintenance.
No, Alex. This just means we have to take.
Maserati.
Sorry?
My neighbor's selling their Maserati.
You should hit
Okay.
them.
Nah.
Okay.
No. I said, Alex, this is what we should do. So he gets his cheap Maserati, and then we just go the way of the millennial Honda owner and just have him swap in an old like B series Honda motor in it.
No, the millennial Honda owner. See, millennials are old now, though.
Yeah. Well, at least it wasn't me.
That's rare.
I looked up what the cheapest spot like. So, by the way, that Maserati is it's not the cheapest one I found, but just for funsies, I looked up what the cheapest Rolls Royce would be, and the cheapest Rolls Royce that I can find on Edmunds, 2011, $110,000, $34,000.
I think the question that's on everybody's mind: how much would a Frick Frock go for, and how many horsepowers does it get?
Oh gosh. But no, so wait, is branding not that big? Because like, okay, this is the last I'll talk about it because we got things to do. But is Maserati like? Is it not like really respected? How come a Bentley or like a Rolls Royce is like 5 times as much for such an old car? Besides, because I gotta imagine the parts in a 2011 Rolls Royce Ghost have got to be hella expensive. Is there that much of a disparity?
What, between Rolls Royce and Maserati?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so.
Yeah, the build quality is astronomically different.
Yeah, Maserati is a bit of an oddity because it's kind of a sister brand to Ferrari, but it's almost like, I don't really know how to describe it. I mean, they've gotten a lot better in recent times, and again, a lot worse. Like, they've gone through periods where they made amazing cars, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then they just drop off massively and make really terrible cars. But it is really just like Ferrari's ugly stepsister. So, yeah, I think the reliability things, if you look at Alphas a lot, Alphas depreciate a lot because they have historically unreliable cars. But yeah, even if the new cars aren't unreliable, it's just carries across, keeps the depreciation going.
No,
It's
I'll
like-
get myself a body kit for a Bugatti and call it a day. Put it on my Supra.
Yes.
Excuse me a second, gentlemen. I have to kill a centipede.
Oh, thank you for that information.
Right. Well, I think we're about time to wrap it up anyway. We've run out of tech topics to talk about. So,
I think I got him.
thank you. Thank you, Cynical.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thank you for the update.
yes. Well, thank you all for joining us in this very up and down and musical edition of the Extreme Hardware Podcast.
It's going to
You
be
guys-
really funny if Alex is too lazy to edit in the music. He just can't be bothered, and people get confused.
I'm going to have to edit in now. So
Yeah.
thank you, Chris. Anyway, you guys have anything to say before we end out, since everyone's chiming in?
Yes, I would like to shill for Sir Sebastian's Candy Corner over on YouTube. Sir Sebastian's Candy Corner, unaffiliated with any of us.
So, Sir Sebastian, aka Frick, what do you have to think about?
Wow, Alex, you ruined it.
Don't worry, I've ruined lots of things. So,
Oh,
Frick,
yeah,
what do you
you're
have
right.
to say about Sir Sebastian's Candy Corner?
I say if you need a break from the world, go to Sir Sebastian's Candy Corner.
Right. On that break from a world note, goodbye and thank you for listening.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.